Hey everyone, I'm Armorgaming, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Are you ready for what we're about to talk about? Hype overload. The Monster Legends official Discord did a Ask Me Anything, and I believe this is like the third one they've done, which it's really cool. And what happened is that when I checked my Discord, I had probably like 50 separate messages from people. A lot of messages. I had a lot of messages. And I'm like, what's going on? And then they kept showing me screenshots of the Ask Me Anything. So I decided I would do a dedicated video where we would just go through every single thing. I'll talk about everything. I'll read through everything. I'll give you guys some of my thoughts on some of the stuff they mentioned. So this is going to be awesome. So let's just get right into it. I also highly recommend, if you haven't joined the official Discord, there's going to be a link in the description. It'll also be the pinned comment so you can be a part of the community. It's a really great community. Just make sure to behave and follow the rules. With that being said, let's see. This channel is dedicated to an Ask Me Anything replies by Hackster and Nesma. We have 1 hour and a half to go, and then we are live. So basically, there's a chance for players to ask whatever questions they want over here, and then after a dedicated time, they stop, and then they start answering the questions. So there's Hackster, there's Nesma. Hey guys, hello everyone. Hey guys, we're glad to be here at last. First of all, just to avoid the confusion and answer the question why my question is not answered, we want to clarify our position and give a bit of detail on what we do in Monster Legends. We're gameplay designers and we're mainly focused on creating gameplay part of monsters, sometimes the story behind them, sometimes we participate in some of the other parts of monster creation, so we will answer most of the questions that are about gameplay related and maybe some other things. Let's do this. Let's do this. Alright, so starting things off with tricky ones. Lately there have been a problem with accuracies, 90 to 95%. Heck, even 100% accuracies have missed a lot. Why is this happening? So yeah, I've noticed this myself, especially when I did the Nemesis Survival Dungeon. No, not the Nemesis Survival Dungeon, the Warthog Dungeon. All of my AoE skills with Wasper kept missing. Like, they weren't dealing any damage. It was so weird. So let's see what they say. Well, this is a known bug. We know it's not working as intended right now. We are currently investigating. Yeah, we're trying not to release these things without communication. So if it's not communicated, it's probably a bug, which I think makes perfect sense, right? I'll give you guys my thoughts on this in a while. Furthermore, we cannot comment on the current accuracy system. We're aware that some accuracy buffs, debuffs, and the overall system function a bit weird, so our goal is to simplify and make it clear for everyone. That would be really nice. Currently, we have some plans to redo some things related to it, but because the basics of the system is more than 5 years old, we need to be really careful with any changes, right? They wouldn't want to change something that ends up changing everything else. I won't share the details yet, but hopefully in 2020 we will present a new accuracy system that will be reliable and improve our combats. Okay, Boomer is struggling with Discord, that's funny. So here's the thing. I don't know why, and maybe after reading this comment, players can finally be a little more aware of this. Whenever something doesn't work as intended, I feel like SocialPoint gets so much hate, and they're like, they did this on purpose. They, like, what are they doing? They're messing up the game. And it's like, guys, I'm pretty sure they want the accuracy system to work as perfectly as possible. They wouldn't just make a change that just completely ruins it. So I think in times like that, we should be mindful of the complex system that Monster Legends is, all of the codes and everything that goes into game. I'm sure there's a lot that most of us don't understand. So when something doesn't work as intended, we kind of just have to let them know, right? Use the contact, use Discord, let them know something's amiss, and then just kind of wait and hope that it gets fixed. But there's no reason to think that they have some sort of malicious intent that they want to ruin the game. From my interaction with a lot of the SocialPoint members, they are a really nice group of people. Let's see. From what I've heard, you're a monster designer, so is there anything you can tell us about the scrap monster designs and what you might do with them? Alright, let's see. Yes, we are monster gameplay designers, but not artists. Generally, they have the last word about what to keep. We have an interesting discard. For example, Gelotron is a discarded magic Warmaster. That is some cool information. Gelotron is a discarded Warmaster, and Gelotron is pretty awesome himself. Devestress is a... What the heck? Devestress is a discarded Madam Fusion? I can't imagine any other monster being Madam Fusion other than Madam Fusion herself, especially not Devestress. Is Hornet a male or female? Oh, the story is coming. What story? Alright, so this question is for me. Hornet is a tribute that I did to my motorbike. It is a Honda Hornet of 07 with a 4-in-line engine, ABS, and a lot of other things too fast for me. So this amazing Hornet monster is a tribute to Hackster's motorbike. That is so interesting. I love how they can get inspiration out of anything and make it into a monster, right? A lot of times we wonder, like, how did they come up with this monster? Well, there you have it. Hornet is based off a motorcycle. So is it male? The question was not answered yet. Is it male? Nope, it is a she. Alright. Hackster and Nesma, what are your favorite monsters in terms of design and why? What do you like about them? Hackster, what made you choose Hackster as your avatar? Are you as geeky and smart? So I'll answer this because I always get this question. My favorite monster design is Kai the Eradicator. I think it is the most absolute gorgeous monster design in the whole entire game. It is phenomenal. I love Kai the Eradicator. Let's see what they have to say. We have lots of questions regarding our favorite monster, and honestly, I like most of them. But I have a special place in my heart for my first created monster, Neobuki. She's cool Asian hologram and some cool synergies. And yeah, Neobuki is a great, fantastic, incredible monster. Something similar happens for me a long time ago. We gameplay designers were much more involved in the themes and monster looks, and at that time I remember doing the Space Pirates, Captain Copperbeard, Lamuna, riding the Curse of the Cosmos to find secrets. I like that crew a lot. And while my mom may say that I'm smart and geeky, so it may be right, Hackster is based on Hackerman. Which monster was the most difficult to design regarding skill, stats, and design-wise? Okay, now I'm failing. Okay, noob. For me, it was definitely Wormlad. Oh my goodness, Wormlad. Because it was designed by you guys, I went through almost 800 entries to choose the skills that could work together. It was so time-consuming, but super cool to see the amount of creativity in the community. I could only imagine how difficult it was to pick Wormlad, because even if you guys recall, I made like 3 videos. They were each like over 20 minutes long, going through all of the replies on the official SocialPoint forum, and it was just a lot, and it was a lot of great ideas. And to be able to pick this idea and this idea and this idea and see what works together, that has to be so hard. And then huge props, Nesma, because Wormlad came out so phenomenal, especially for a community monster. He turned out so fantastic, one of the best monsters in the game currently. Amazing. For me, it's a Warmaster. I like a lot that collection. It was very hard to maintain the quality levels of all of them. Ones are a bit too much, the Lhasa, and the others are too meh. But I remember having difficulty with Hydrotilla. Oh, Hydrotilla. Yeah, so I could only imagine, right? Whenever a new League of Monsters gets released, right? The VIPs, then the Nemesis, then the Warmasters, the Elites, now the Forsaken. I imagine it has to be so stressful, because you need these monsters to be up a tier, but not too much up a tier where they're like the last and they dominate everything. So I could only imagine how difficult that is. What would you say is the ugliest monster design you made? Oh, this one's gonna be interesting. This one's gonna be interesting. Alright, we're super aligned on that. It's Yimberber. But I added some love to his skills names. All of those songs are my favorite reggae bands. Cool. 2 things. I actually don't mind the Yimberber design. I think there's probably uglier monsters out there. And I thought Yimberber was a girl this whole time. That's funny. Dr. Murrayhausen, next question please. It should have been better because in honor of our mods, they help us a lot. Oh, they truly do. Helen and Mari. That's funny. Let's see. There are countless unusable legendaries that we have and we don't need. Yeah, there's like over 600 monsters in the game, right? Like over 660, many of which are legendaries. Will there be any changes, rework to them, or is there any way for us to trade them for another reward? Maybe a trade system between teammates also? Oh, this one's going to be interesting as well. We are working to try to make them usable again. Reworking them is something that we have talked about, but it's very hard. Time consuming to do as well. Who do we do first? Why? To which degree? Again, I could also imagine how difficult this could be. Similar to like making the next tier of monsters, the Warmasters, the Elites. Like, how difficult, like, if they do, let's say they focus on the breedable, like a Vatamagma. Like, how powerful should they make it? Do they make it as powerful to compete in the current meta? And if that's the case, I feel like there's always going to be like a top tier list of monsters that always dominate the game. So if they go back and rework some of the old monsters, like can you imagine an OP Heyman, and then Heyman becomes the most dominant monster, and then the Wormlads and the Thalasses, they become unusable. Now you essentially recreate a new tier list. So I feel like this is always something that's going to happen, and I think that's truly what makes it so difficult. I do have to say this is kind of what I like about the Team Wars and the book restrictions, because it does give you the opportunity to use different types of monsters. Now I know sometimes players don't like that because they're like, what the heck, we need to have ranked up monsters in every single book. But it's kind of like, it's a give or take. Do you want to be able to use a lot of different Monster Legends, or do you want to just only use the meta and then complain about the meta? So I imagine this is super difficult to come up with. 2020 will come with a lot of new things, and one of the topics is to allow players to use all of the monsters. And this is also something they tried to do in Battlegrounds, but then again, the issue with Battlegrounds, a lot of players were like, what the heck? We have like all these weak level 100 monsters without runes, without skills, and then they capped it to only putting 10 defenses, 10 offenses, and now it's essentially back to you put your top monsters on defense, you keep a good amount for offense, and it's like, it's such a hard thing to do. This is always why I would like some sort of system They kind of did it with the grand duels and the live battles where you can pick from a pool of monsters, and then from that pool of monsters, it's all capped, right? Everyone has level 7 runes. Everyone is level 105. Like, I think that's the only way. I think it'd be cool if, instead of everyone having a different selection of monsters, if during different days, there was a certain amount of monsters that players could select from. For example, today's Tuesday. Yeah, today's Tuesday. Like, your options are Vada Magma, Neobuki, Samael the Plague Carrier. Like, do 20 monsters, and everyone literally has that exact same pool. And it's up to the players to figure out what monsters work best together, and everyone has the same runes, and it's up to the players to decide what runes work best together. And I think instead of having like 9 runes available, they should cap it. So maybe everyone, hopefully everyone understands what I'm saying. So everyone gets the same 20 monsters to choose from, everyone gets the same like 9 runes to choose from. Some will be strength, some will be speed, so that way everyone doesn't just do 3 speed and 16 speed, but instead it's like, oh, you know what, I have to put a life rune somewhere, I have to put a stamina. As much as I hate it, I have to. So everyone's working with the exact same things. I think that would be the best way. It would also be a really cool way for players to try monsters they don't normally get to try. Same with relics, right? If everyone's only given 1 diamond relic, 2 gold, the rest are silver, like, I don't know, I think that'd be a cool, interesting mode where it's not, because the problem with like the grand duels, and the reason I never play them, is it's so RNG based, where you literally have hey man versus like a team of Warmasters, and then you cry. But that's just my thought on that. I'm looking forward to 2020 and what will come with that. Where do you get your inspiration for monsters from? Do you simply grow a concept in your head and materialize that, or do you see something and go, this could go well as a monster? Ooh, this is going to be interesting. This question has different answers in different times. Right now we observe the actual mechanics of the monsters and mix them. We're defining what the roles are and what we see with the roles, certain elements, books to fill them. I understand the original question was for an artist, but not the case. First, we try to see which gameplay elements could be useful in the current meta and give artists certain guides like Pierce, Water Attacker, Winter, Evil Legions. And then we have the sketches. I can relate it to something. Could it be movies, cartoons, books, songs, different characters? Skills names are coming later. I usually get a lot of references that we're putting on there. Some of the most obvious ones you've spotted, like pure sight skills, are lines from Gorilla's Clint Eastwood songs. Some of them are unspotted, like Divestors, for example. So do your homework. Oh, cool. So I imagine people are going to be going in the comments answering like, I caught it. This is actually all the references. So looking forward to reading those comments. What software do you use to design monsters? As a hackster, I love this question. Mainly spreadsheets, Excel. But we also use web-based analytics tools to see what monsters are most used. YouTube and Pinterest for references. Oh, cool. And Discord to talk with the amazing players. Well, it's not just spreadsheets, it's a complex system of spreadsheets with tools and scripts. Big shout out to our tools guys who helps us keep it useful and working. How long does it take to design one monster? What steps happen from one idea to final release? That is a very good question. Oh, very good question. Again, we are currently changing and adapting our way we work, try to improve and reduce mistakes. Do you remember the previous monster releases full of bugs without proper text? Ah, the old times. First we decide what monsters that are going to be done in the next month. And then we tell the artist the element, the combat role, the books. Then we choose the event themed and monster look. Usually we have some proposals and choose the best one. So it starts at the art level, up to 4 days for the concept artist to do the proposals, 1 week to render them and make them usable in our game, and then about 2 weeks to animate them, while we designers start prepping the monsters, share with some other players that give us very good feedback, and they rotate. So we can start testing them and have everything ready, so the whole process, 3 to 4 weeks. Wow, for a single monster. And then they do that for several monsters because when events get released, there's like 2, 3, 4 new monsters that get released. Let's see, recently an easy feed button was finally added. Have you considered adding an easier way to know what books a monster is in? Oh, I've had the same concern. The only way we can know what book is in is if we go to library and see if it's there. If we go to Monstergram, filter by books, and scroll through the endless monsters. Why not add a simple tag or tab to the monster that shows what... Yeah, I would really like this. Similar to the way it has the relics or runes, like if it could just have it under the trait and show all the different books it's in, that would be very, very useful. Well, interfaces are not a thing, but we all agree there are a lot of space for improvements, both in combat and other places. We want our gameplay systems to be more understandable in 2020, and that's why we're planning some improvements in terms of the interfaces. Looking forward to this as well. Alright, could there be more monsters with spirit trait in the future? Well, we do not like things that are the same without different names. Right now, spirit and artifact are the same, essentially. So I think what I was told, and if a monster actually has spirit, you can actually apply positive buffs to it. So, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but, so if you have Totem is the only monster with a spirit, you can actually give him buffs. So you guys can let me know if I'm right or wrong on that. So we would simplify that. We are closer to totem becoming an artifact than adding more spirit monsters if we keep them the same. Let's see. Hi, when are you guys going to finish the elite monster design skill stats? We're missing 2 of its elements, nature and thunder. We want to finish the elite family, and we will do so for sure. Initially, both Wicca and Thundir were meant to be the last elite, but we decided to experiment with our release strategy and make something different. We want to be brave and try new things, see what's not working, and get our learnings. Elites are coming for sure. Ha, and everyone's like, yeah, we knew it. Yeah, when we saw some of the elite, when we saw the Forsaken monster, we're like, wait, what about the elites? There's some of them are missing. And then it was like quite convenient that some of the first Forsaken monsters happened to be the Thunder and the Nature. So looking forward to seeing those elites and how competitive they'll be. As a designer, do you just design monsters or do you also write the descriptions? Also, what is or are your favorite color palettes for making a monster? We're given directions for the stories of monsters. We don't actually write them. Joppers does that. But we sit down together and explain our ideas for the character. With Wildbird, we went a bit too direct, but personally, I love this part of the work. We are preparing something related that we will enjoy. What are the plans for 2020? More Forsakens? Super Forsakens? What is next? That's funny. Warsakens, that's funnier. Let's put some speed on Nesma. Well, we can say that right now we're working on a strategy for the entire next year that we're quite hyped about. Besides making some adjustments to how the game works in terms of combat, accuracy, and some exciting things we can't talk about yet. Ooh. We want to provide players with more options to get units in a free-to-play way. We know that Forsaken release was a bit out of nowhere, but we learned a lot from it, and the disruption of top-tier monsters right now is higher than ever before. We want to improve it. Even further, and I hope you would love it. So I have a lot to say about this. This is such a hard thing. It always goes like the balancing of the game is so hard. One thing about the I think I'm pretty much on record saying I love the Warmaster release. I think that was a great release. The way if a player is free to play, they can grind it out and they will eventually get a Warmaster ranked up. Yeah, they may only get 1 or 2. Yeah, it may take forever, but I love that grind. When you release monsters like Forsaken monsters, I think the biggest mistake to that was the fact that you only have 1 chance to get it, and if you missed out, you can never have that monster again. That I'm not a big fan of. But I think another issue with the Forsaken monsters, and maybe it's not an issue because maybe it's intended to work this place, maybe it's intended to work that way, is imagine SocialPoint made it so you could rank up Forsaken monsters with Elemental Cells and Elementium. You know how easy it would be to rank them up all the way, especially like top tier players that spend money on the game and can get easily Elementium and cells from frat events and everything. It would be so easy for them to rank it up. So on one hand, you can argue that by releasing Forsaken monsters and making it so hard to rank them up because they can only be ranked up with their own cells, that prevents a lot of top players from getting them, which is kind of a good thing because now you don't see a bunch of Wildbird 130s walking around. There's maybe a handful of players that spend the money to get Wildbird ranked up. Same for Wicca, same for this new Santa Pyrion monster coming out. So on one hand, it's good, right? In one hand, by making it very difficult to rank up, only a select few players are going to have it ranked up. And while, yeah, we're upset that we will never be that player that has it ranked up, a lot of free-to-play players, like I mentioned before with even Warmasters, they're always going to have to decide between getting 1 or 2 like fully ranked up Warmasters. So whether or not the Forsaken monsters are super hard to rank up or not, a free-to-play player is always going to have the issue of not being able to rank it up. So you could kind of argue that it's a good thing that it's not so easy that a player can just buy a bunch of gems and then easily get a bunch of Elementium and then rank it up. So I don't know. I always like go back and forth between this. What do you think is the most OP monster you made? Oh, it's going to be Thalassa. Easy, very easy question for me. Yep, for sure. Warmaster Thalassa. That's funny. You know who to blame for her. Mine is Ragnarök probably, so we're partners in crime. Yeah, 2 of the strongest monsters in the game. For sure. Yeah, when the monster is so stuck in the meta, it is wrong. Could there be more monsters with trait protection in the future? We know that it's super powerful and completely negates certain strategies, and we don't want to overuse it. We want to keep it as something exclusive for certain monsters assigned around it. Same goes with the Pierce trait or the Protect Positive Effect trait. As for Pierce, I remember one of the questions was about it. We don't want to give this monster to control monsters. Oh, that's good, because if you can pierce through anything in control, ooh. Short version, yes. Nesma version. Let's see. Do you plan to introduce new traits as well as positive and negative effects? Yes, we're always introducing new ones. We finished the tortures. Let's see what comes next. Oh, no, there's going to be more tortures probably. I can imagine. Part of haters and weaknesses, more new interesting mechanics will come. That's cool to know. What's something you're most proud of doing as a developer to this point? Well, for me, it's when I joined Monster Legends, the battle was very, very buggy. The terminology and mechanics was very inconsistent. And well, now there are some bugs, but much less than before. The battles is much more solid. We're still working in that direction to make it much more easier to understand. What games do you love apart from ML? We love, let's see, we play almost everything. I love competitive games, Rocket League, first-person shooters, RPGs, old Japanese ones like Final Fantasy 6 through 9. Lots of different ones, Overwatch, Rocket League, Ballin, the ones taking the most. Also a lot of board games, Ticket to Ride, Settlers, and Heckmech. We love to play different things. Nesma, how is it the last time we played one-on-one on Rocket League? Probably I won, I don't remember, bad memory. Let's see. I know it was mentioned 100 times before, but what are you going to do with the Team Wars books and monsters? All of the monsters are very outdated, and it's really a shame for multiple reasons. Firstly, it has a lot of potential, and War is the most beloved event in the game. I agree. Secondly, if we have War with Team Wars, is the best thing I can use is a team suit holder and not a good one. Very good question. This is why I think like if they were to do events where you can cap Team Wars, that would be pretty good, because then you could actually use your level 100 monster with level 3 runes. But again, then there's always the issue of like top players will complain, hey, we ranked up a monster to 130, it's not fair. But it's always gonna be like, that's why if it was an event, like literally a week event where these next 5, actually not even 5, these next 3 wars are gonna be capped, level 100 runes, level 3 runes, everyone could literally pay gold and just use the best monster. But I mean, the current monsters are still the best, so what if they restricted it to like you can only use monsters from the first 5 pages? That way you don't use a lot of the new monsters. Do you plan on making more monster pairs with skills like Grumpix, wait for Zamillion and Zamillions, Grumpix Charge, and Zamillion Straight for casting Light Weakness to help Grumpix do more damage? Oh, probably, for sure. Okay, oh, Nesma will be happy about this. My favorite question, to be honest. Something I realized is that majority of players don't see that. Oh, really? So you're asking me, so what you're asking means there's no hope. Well, we tried many times to introduce more synergy between the monsters up until a point where we're doing something super obvious, like in the case with the Grumpix and Zamillion. Unfortunately, only a small fraction of players like this kind of complications. We have players that want monsters to be straightforward and effective and saw these synergies are never getting into meta. And this is true to a certain degree, right? Like as cool as the synergy is, a lot of times it doesn't really work that well just because the meta requires a specific set of monsters, right? Typically a control, typically an attacker, typically a support. So that is what it is. That doesn't mean we discontinue to release this cool synergies, but we will release them sometimes here and there. That's cool. Hopefully improvement in 22 will make battles clearer so more people could understand and enjoy this kind of things. And this is what everyone has been sending me messages about. So are you ready? Will you make Armorgaming as a monster in Monster Legends one day? Well, Armor has been one of the top ML YouTubers, and Amiibo already has one, and also I don't know which is better. By the way, say hi to Armorgaming if you're reading this. Hi. And apart from it, a lot of new YouTubers are appearing, and he watches them, trust me. And so, bam, there you have it. Armorgaming Armor Claw is coming. This is the egg. It is fantastic. So that is exciting. That is super, super exciting. My gosh, can we just like admire this? So it has been officially announced. And I think it was announced in a previous AMA, or at least hinted at, but now it has been officially announced, so this is super exciting. Great way to end 2019. Ooh, this is cool. The egg looks amazing, right? The egg looks fantastic. Looks fantastic. I can already feel like that's going to be the face of the monster, right? So this is super exciting. Fox. Oh, it's funny. That is awesome. Oh wow. Okay, I could probably go on about this, but then the video will be too long, so let's just keep going. But that is cool. Alright. What do you think about my friend's new status effect idea, Soul Bond? If a monster having with Soul Bond is killed by using the skill, the user of the skill also dies. It doesn't work on dying by status effects. So cool idea, but maybe too niche. We could make it work for sure. Need some tweaks here and there. I'm adding it to our social spreadsheet with all the status effects ideas that we and team are carefully selecting once to be released. It is huge. I can only imagine. Also, I saw a question regarding Monster Ideas channel. Yes, we always browse it silently and read most of your ideas, sometimes taking inspiration. So great shout out to everyone involved in the monster ideation process. You rock. Are you going to do a new single player island? Well, much more than that. Oh. And we are thinking of a new adventure mode. Oh, 2020. There will be able to tell a story. Yes, finally. So Monster Legends has such a great lore. Like there's so much rich lore that I wish there was a way that throughout the game it could all be explained, right? Like starting with how Monster Legends came to be, Like, it would be so cool to go through the lore, see all the connections between all the monsters, because there's so many connections. So I imagine this is going to be one of the bigger hits in 2020. Offer new players exciting, interesting battles. It's a big thing, so we don't want to release all the news at once. But yes, the system comes with different adventures. I hope it's something similar to what I'm saying. Like, that would be so cool. Where like, for this battle, you need to have these specific monsters because they're a part of the lore, and then it could all be explained. That'd be really cool. Can we expect a more skill-based battle PvP event in the future that rewards smart teams and doesn't rely much on RNG? Maybe something similar to duels, but you pick your monsters. Hey, I kind of mentioned this. Wait, has a certain twist like the Warmaster dungeons. This twist would be shown prior to the battle, so teams could be built around them. I personally love skill-based games and want to have them more in a game. I absolutely love playing live in Grandmasters. That is exactly what you're describing. Grundles are not only coming back, but we want to experiment with different pools and approaches for it to deliver the best skill-based combat for everyone. Looking forward to this. Totally aligned. Not very popular, but warm-ups increase strategy of the combat. See, I agree too. The thing is, without warm-ups, it's literally, let me put the fastest monster who can deny. Right? With warm-ups, you can't rely on that deny strategy, and then you have to think of a new strategy. So this one players started implementing, let me run 3 monsters that have a single deny skill with 3 speed runes on each monster. That way, if one of them gets denied, I can still deny the main denier, I can deny the attacker, and then I can wait for my monster's warm-up to be ready, and then I can AoE deny. So I agree. I think warm-ups added a big, huge level of strategy, and I think as much as players are like, oh, can you decrease RNG and make it more skill-based? When SocialPoint introduced something skill-based, players are like, no, we want it back to the old way, where we could just put our 3 speed and 6 team speed. So I feel like there's a disconnect between what players want and what they think they want. Because of the missing Monster Grand monsters, example Monster 489, will we ever get replacements to fill those missing spots, or will they remain forever empty? They are in limbo. Some gameplay concepts that we prototyped and scrapped in the end. Feel sorry for this. They were like bothered to me, but probably they're not coming back. Oof. Not the most important thing in Monster Legends right now. Well, I got a question. Can Great Dispel get rid of baby reversion effect? No. Cool. You can't hit a baby, that's a rule. But if you have Pierce, yes, you can hit a baby. That's kind of sad. Can you give an insight on how to choose monsters in the tiebreak situation? For example, Kronks and Sherlock have the same speed. Can I decide who goes first? It's randomly selected. So I imagine it's a 50-50. So if you have the same speed as your opponent, 50-50 chance that you go first. We're having some ideas regarding changes to overall speed system. We want a prototype maybe. Just maybe the problem will be solved. Any monster designs they made by looking at someone and a thought came. Well, for some monsters that has happened. Team members that leave us are people very special to us. Aw. For example, O'Reilly, he was helping me a lot during Monsters a time ago. Lots of respect and love for this guy. Rosioko also has an amazing QA that helped us raise the quality of Monster Legends. Oh, cool. Monster Legend team, always a big family, and we're super sad when someone leaves. Because of that, we want them to stay forever in the form of monsters. Cassia, oh, cool. Cassia, Neredia, Chrysandre, Joppers. Okay, guys, we're overdue. Spent 47 more than it was planned initially. You know why? Because it was fun. Yeah, these Ask Me Anythings are a lot of fun. Big thanks for all the questions. Keep rocking, leaving your feedback, monster ideas. Someone reading, trying to deliver. I butchered that sentence completely. I apologize. Almost 2 hours, bit too much. Thank you guys. We have enjoyed as much. Love. Let's do this. Video next time. That'll be fun. Twitch stream. Ooh, let's see what Fox says. Always good about these ideas. Stream. Let's see. I won't be embarrassed because of typos on Twitch, so let's do this. Thank you very much for your time. I feel you are my friends because depending on how you watch, we're playing together every day. That is what friends do. Love and peace for all. Thank you, everyone. See you in 2020. So, I'll leave this out there because I hopefully think this is something that could happen in the future. If you guys remember, I used to do like a Monster Legends comparison series where I would talk to Discord members and we would kind of give our thoughts about which monster is better. Is it this monster or this monster? And it would be really cool to maybe talk to some of the SocialPoint members on a live stream, and you guys can answer your questions from the live chat, and we can just kind of like pick at their brains about similar questions that have been asked or future things or their thoughts on certain monsters. Like, I think that would be pretty cool. Maybe do some battle with some of the devs. Like, that would be really cool. Overall though, this was a fantastic Ask Me Anything. Again, it's the official Monster Legends Discord, so there's going to be a link in the description and a pinned comment if you want to read it all yourself, if you want to go through some of the questions that were asked, if you just want to be a part of the community, which I highly recommend, definitely do that. Huge thanks to everyone for setting up. Fox, Hackster, Nesma, thank you so much. This was definitely a ton of fun. It was a ton of fun. And with that being said, that is going to be it for this video. Super excited for things to come in 2020, clearly. So I'll leave you guys with that. Thank you all very much for watching this video, for being a part of this community, and I will see you all next time.